We are charged to protect these kids.
I'm a police officer for North Minneapolis and coach for the North High School. These kids don't trust cops.
It's definitely a difficult time right now.
Kind of weird, but I'm building bonds with police.
The violence is nonstop. You can hear the gunshots. When them lights flicker at 7 o'clock, you ain't hear none of that.
Four straight sellouts, 3 division championships.
A lethal left uppercut!
The one and only Gervonta Tank Davis puts his perfect record on the line against one of the fastest rising boxers in the sport. Unbeaten Hector Garcia, plus undefeated knockout artist Jaron Ennis. Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia, Saturday, January 7th, live on pay-per-view.
Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to our nation's capital. We are here in Washington, D.C. as Premier Boxing Champions kicks off the 2023 campaign with a tremendous night of boxing coming your way this upcoming Saturday night from the beautiful Capital One Arena here in our nation's capital. It is the return of the lightweight champion of the world, the undefeated Gervonta Tank Davis, who is from nearby Baltimore, fighting here in his home area as he will collide against Hector Garcia. That our main event this upcoming Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. It is presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by TGB Promotions and GTD Promotions. Our co-main event going to be an exciting matchup. Also the return of a rising up-and-coming welterweight sensation, the unblemished Jaron Ennis. He'll go head-to-head as he will take on Gervonta Davis. This one for a vacant interim welterweight championship. Also on the card, we have a welterweight title eliminator between the very determined Rashidi Ellis as he will take on the hard-hitting Royman Villa out of Venezuela. Also to begin the night, we will have the 2-division world champion Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, who will put his skills to the test against Laurel, Maryland's very own Damon Nicholson. That a terrific card from top to bottom on pay-per-view, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. But also we got 3 streaming fights that'll come your way on the Showtime Boxing Facebook page at 6:45 Eastern, 3:45 Pacific time. It'll feature the likes of Brandon Lee as he takes on Diego Luque. Also, Trayvon Marshall matches up against Sean West in the super welterweight division. And also, we will be talking with Vito Melnicki Jr. as he will take on Omar Rosales, that one in the super welterweight division. A terrific night of boxing coming your way, but it is the return of Gervonta Tank Davis, fresh off of a win on Memorial Day weekend, a 6th-round knockout over Rolando Rolly Romero, a fight that eclipsed box office records at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And lo and behold, Tank is back this upcoming Saturday night as he will take on a very tough and a guy who had a solid year in 2022, Hector Garcia. Incidentally, had the upset of the year last February when he defeated Chris Colbert. He was followed up with a dominating performance, capturing a world title at 130 over Roger Gutierrez. But Gervonta Davis looking to start off 2023 with the bang as he has Hector Garcia in front of him on Saturday night. It's all being promoted by TGB Promotions along with GTD Promotions, as right now we want to bring into the ring a young fighter who is quickly becoming a fan-friendly attraction for those here in the East Coast. His record, 13 wins, opposite 1 defeats, 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Very proud of where he's from in Roseland, New Jersey. Had a terrific 2022, scoring 3 victories, including a dominating performance as he had a unanimous decision victory over Lambert Ponce back in October. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring, Vito Melnicki Jr. Bring in White Magic himself, Vito Melnicki Jr. We are here at a recreation center for the youth of Washington, D.C., bringing in Vito Melnicki Jr., who is A couple years removed from being a youth himself, he was boxing professionally at 17, fought in Las Vegas, actually needed a doctor's note or a teacher's note to be able to go and fight in Vegas. But Vito, great to see you. Happy New Year to you. Tell us about coming back here, starting off the year on a card of this magnitude on the East Coast. The fans love you out here, whether it's New Jersey, Brooklyn, or now here in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. Happy holidays. But I want to thank Al Heyman and the rest of the PBC family. Getting me busy right away at the start of the new year on one of the biggest fight cards of the year. So I'm excited to put on a show for everyone.
I know you wished everybody a Happy New Year, but were you able to enjoy the holidays? Last year you fought on Christmas night. This year you're back a week after New Year's.
Yeah, I'm thankful enough to see my family on Christmas Day. I wasn't able to enjoy all the great food and stuff, but especially the Italians, the pasta and everything. But look, I'm sacrificing now to live better later. So I'm excited. I had a great camp. Me and my coach Chino Rivas, Keyshawn Williams doing camp with me, Ota Jones, and a bunch of other top guys. We had a great camp, and we're just ready to put on a show.
3 wins last year in 2022. How much did you feel like you grew as a fighter? Because we spoke about your dominating performance over Limbert Ponce, a guy who's a veteran. He doesn't make guys look good. You happen to make it look easy in the ring back in October.
Yeah, I think when you bring in better guys, better opposition, it's only going to bring better out of me. So as we keep climbing, you guys are just going to see better versions of myself each and every time.
My one assessment about you is, as I'm watching you, we've watched you perform and step inside the ring as a pro since you were 17. I mentioned how you were in high school fighting in Las Vegas, still had to go do schoolwork after media workouts. But I feel like physically you're starting to fill out and you're finding your man strength. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm only 20, so in the next few years, we're obviously going to see me come into my body, start to get stronger, smarter, just more mature in general. So this is another growth. I'm excited to start growing so soon in the year and just keep progressing each and every time.
Finally, when fans tune in to watch you fight at 6:45 Eastern, 3:45 Pacific time on the Showtime Boxing Facebook page, what can they expect out of White Magic?
Expect fireworks, expect excitement. We're bringing it. We had a great camp, me and my team, so just expect the best version of me and expect fireworks.
Always great to see you and your pops as well. I know your dad very proud, and lo and behold, he's probably making sure, handling ticket requests like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. I appreciate it. I'm just happy to be here, ready to put on a show.
Vito Mielnicki Jr. going to work out for all of you here in Washington, D.C. He matches up against Omar Rosales. That'll be on the Showtime Boxing Facebook page. We will give the ring to Vito Mielnicki Jr., the pride and joy of Roseland, New Jersey. You are watching the media workouts here in Washington, D.C. Vito Mielnicki Jr. working out as he will take on Omar Rosales on the Showtime Sports Facebook page, 6:45 Eastern, 3:45 Pacific time. We give you a triple header for free on the streaming fights. I believe, Vito, you are done, correct? You going to keep working out, Vito?
No, I'm good to go. Ready to put on a show Saturday night. Everyone tune in on the Showtime YouTube. If you didn't get the pay-per-view, get the pay-per-view. If you're in town, get your tickets.
All right, I'm going to step inside the ring. Vito, you can go ahead and depart and handle your media obligations. But Vito Mielnicki Jr. from Roseland, New Jersey. Round of applause for Vito Mielnicki Jr. White Magic, 13-1, as he looks to take his record to 14-1. Well, now we will turn our attention to one of the opening fights on the pay-per-view, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. In our main event, it's champion versus champion, Gervonta Davis and Hector Garcia, both men with undefeated records. But this is a terrific card from top to bottom as we begin 2023. A part of that loaded night of boxing, we will have the 2-division world champion, the U.S. Olympian, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, taking on this man, someone who is in the midst of a 3-fight win streak. His record, 26 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Essentially on Saturday, he's looking to defend his home area. Why? Because he lives in nearby Laurel, Maryland, which is just about 35 minutes away from the Capital One Arena, the site of Gervonta Davis and Hector Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, with a record of 26 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 22 big wins coming inside the distance, here is Demanda Nicholson. Great to see Demond Nicholson himself, who's won 3 in a row. Demond, before you get ready to work out, I want to have a small conversation with you as you prepare for this assignment, taking on the undefeated 2-division world champion, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, fighting here pretty much in your backyard on a card of this magnitude to begin 2023. What does this mean to you?
Honestly, it just means elevation. My life is about to shoot to the stars, and it's my time. You know, that's it. You know, it's my time.
They always say when it comes to athletics that it is, a lot of it is mental, not only physical. You have won 3 in a row. You are coming off of a win where you defeated Christopher Brooker. But how much confidence do you feel coming into this matchup in this, the biggest assignment on paper of your career?
I feel entirely confident, man. I've been through a lot of ups and downs. This is not my first time here, and this is my first time on this stage being 100% healthy. So my confidence is through the roof, literally.
Stylistically, taking on Boo Boo, not giving away any of your game plan, but, you know, he is very crafty, he's rangy, he has an undefeated record, but where do you feel like you're going to be able to have the advantages on Saturday?
Honestly, my honest opinion is I feel as though I'm going to have the advantage, whether it's I'm boxing on the outside or boxing on the inside. You know, I can do both, you know, and I don't think he can do that, you know, so the fight is already won, you know.
Have you felt and thought about the emotion with everything you've gone through? I have watched your career pretty much since its infancy, and now on a stage like this against Boo Boo Andrade, but that ring walk, what it's going to mean to have the fans going crazy for you, because last time I checked, and from what people are telling me, you have sold a lot of tickets. You have a lot of people coming out to support you on Saturday night.
Yes, sir, I do. But honestly, the ring walk is tunnel vision, man. I wouldn't even, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even realize how crazy it is, you know, because I'm be so locked in on the fight, you know. But like the last time you commentated on my fight, I told you, you know, the best is yet to come, and I'm saying it again.
Well, now I want to ask you in terms of, do you like fighting either on the road or here at home? Which one do you prefer? Because you're fighting here in your backyard. Boo Boo is the visitor on Saturday.
You know, honestly, man, I've been fighting my whole life. So anywhere we go in any part of the world, you know, I'm going to be ready to fight and excited.
What's your prediction for Saturday night against Demetrius Andrade?
A great fight. That's all I can say.
I'm already excited. We'll let you work out. Damon Nicholson, ladies and gentlemen, from Laurel, Maryland. He's going to work out for all of you here in Washington, D.C. You want to come in here for Royman after this? So I'll have you come in after. After he's done, we'll bring in Royman. Right? Cool. Yeah. As soon as he's done, I'll wrap up and then I'll bring him in. So perfect. Just wanted to touch base. My best purchase of Christmas. All right, you are watching the DeMond Nicholson workout here in our nation's capital, as DeMond Nicholson will take on the undefeated two-division world champion Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, a part of Saturday night's Gervonta Davis, Hector Garcia main event. It'll be a part of the pay-per-view starting at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time, presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by TGB Promotions and GTD Promotions. It all comes your way from the Capital One Arena here in Washington, D.C. Limited tickets are available, but they are going quickly. We expect a capacity crowd on Saturday, and for all of you watching at home, do not wait to order the pay-per-view. This card will no doubt deliver plenty of entertainment and action, because all 4 fights on the pay-per-view are certainly compelling matchups and fights with significant ramifications in their respective divisions. DeMond Nicholson fighting here in the super middleweight division, no doubt not looking to welcome Demetrius Andrade with a warm welcome. Wants to defend his home area. DeMond Nicholson from Laurel, Maryland, about 35 to 40 minutes away from the Capital One Arena here in Washington, D.C. DeMond Nicholson telling me earlier that he is totally healthy, ready to go. He has won 3 straight fights, and has a lot of confidence coming into this showdown against Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade from Providence, Rhode Island. It is an East Coast tussle happening in our nation's capital on Saturday. And coming up, we will be breaking down our next matchup, a part of the pay-per-view. Rashidi Ellis and Royman Villa. Damon Nicholson working out. Thank you very much, Damon. Greatly appreciated. Good luck to you, sir. Damon Nicholson working out for all the fans here in Washington, D.C. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we will turn our attention to a matchup. This one in the welterweight division. It is actually a welterweight title eliminator. That's why I wanted to go ahead and look down at my notes to make sure that I was correct on that. It is an IBF welterweight title eliminator. The champions right now in the welterweight division, Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. Spence holding 3 of the 4 welterweight championships. But this one, no doubt, going to be a riveting affair. Rashidi Ellis is undefeated. He will take on a man who I was fortunate enough to see about a good 9 to 10 months ago down in Panama. His record, 25 wins, 1 loss, 24 big wins coming by way of knockout. For U.S. audiences, he was introduced to the fans on SHOWBOX, the new generation, back in September, when he was able to drop the previously unbeaten Janisel Boca Chica on his way to a unanimous decision victory. 29 years of age, coming to us from Rosario, Venezuela. An exciting fighter. He's a dynamic puncher. The way I like to describe him, he wants to punch holes through people. Very exciting indeed. In my estimation, I call him El Artista de los Knockouts, the artist of knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Royman Villa. As we bring into the ring Royman Villa. Royman Villa taking on the undefeated Rashidi Ellis in this, an IBF welterweight title eliminator. It is a massive fight for both men. Rashidi Ellis looking to remain undefeated. If we have Martin Bater to make his way into the ring as well. Great to see Royman Villa here in Washington, D.C. Royman, it is great to see you. Tell us about, if we can look over here at the camera, Martin will make his way into the ring as well. First of all, Royman, how are you feeling coming into this matchup? Obviously, the biggest test of your career as you take on Rashidi Ellis, the undefeated Rashidi Ellis.
¿Cómo te sentís de cara a lo que va a ser el mayor examen de tu carrera hasta ahora en esta pelea tan decisiva?
Me siento bien, gracias a Dios. Bien preparado, confiando siempre en el Señor, no en mí, sino en el Señor. Él fue el que me trajo hasta aquí y Él me dijo que yo iba a ser campeón del mundo. Bueno, y yo le creo al Señor.
Well, I feel great. I'm ready for this challenge and I'm putting everything in the hands of God because He brought me here. I believe that I can be a world champion. I put myself in His hands and I'm ready for anything that comes my way.
When U.S. audiences first saw you, it was back in September when you defeated Boca Chica by decision. What did you learn in that fight back in September?
¿Qué aprendiste de la pelea que tuviste contra Boca Chica y que ganaste por puntos? ¿Cuáles fueron las principales lecciones que sacaste de esa contienda?
Lo que aprendí con Boca Chica, bueno, es que cuando peleé con Boca Chica yo no me estaba preparando. Yo peleé así porque tenía que pelear así, pues no me estaba preparando.
Well, look, I can't really tell you what lessons I learned because against Boca Chica, I just fought out of instinct. I wasn't as ready as I could have been, so it was really out of instinct, and I did what I could out there in September.
What do you know about your opponent in Rashidi Ellis? He's undefeated. He's had some quality wins under his belt, beating the likes of Alexis Rocha and Eddie Gomez as well. But what do you know and preview your opponent in Rashidi Ellis on Saturday night?
¿Qué opinas de tu oponente en Rashidi Ellis, que tiene unas victorias bastante contundentes recientemente contra oponentes de buen calibre?
Bueno, yo pienso que es un buen peleador, pero como dice el Señor, que no hay hombre grande porque todo viene de Dios. El Señor es el que da la sabiduría, el entendimiento. Y bueno, el Señor es Él es el que sabe lo que va a pasar. ¿Sí me entendéis?
I'm not about to underestimate anybody. Ellis is a great fighter, but in the end, the Lord decides everything, and I believe that God put me here for a reason. There are no unbeatable opponents, and I think that God put me on this path to be successful.
You have a knockout percentage of over 90%. What is the key to your immense punching power? I have watched you knock out guys with your right hand and your left on a variety of occasions.
¿Cuál es el secreto de tu gran potencia en los golpes? Desde un porcentaje de knockout del 90%, noqueas con la derecha, noqueas con la izquierda, no importa, es impresionante. ¿Cuál es tu secreto?
El secreto mío en verdad es obedecerle al Señor. La fuerza que yo tengo prácticamente me la da el Señor, por eso que la gloria y la honra y esta victoria, porque el Señor ya me la entregó, y las que vienen serán para el Señor.
Well, the secret of my punches is that I have God in my hands and God provides me that power. And I'll tell you what, the secret for this victory, which I'm convinced God will give me, and the next victory that I will obtain too, will all be because of what God gives me.
And finally, what's your prediction for Saturday night against Rashidi Ellis in a title eliminator matchup at 147?
Bueno, dijiste que ibas a ganar contra Ellis, ¿verdad? ¿Cuál es tu vaticinio? ¿Cómo crees que vas a ganar? ¿Por nocaut, por puntos, algún round?
Pues eso es algo que yo me reservo. Yo sé qué es lo que va a pasar porque pues ya el Señor me lo mostró, pero es algo que yo me reservo.
Well, God has already shown me what's going to happen, but I'm going to keep that as a surprise for you guys. You guys are going to see it on Saturday night.
All right, Roymon Villa, ladies and gentlemen, from Venezuela. Round of applause. We'll allow him to work out, and we'll come back with more here from Washington, D.C. Stay tuned. Roymon Villa working out inside the ring, a dynamic power puncher from Venezuela, taking on Rashidi Ellis, a part of a loaded night of boxing. Showtime pay-per-view this upcoming Saturday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time, as it's being presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by TGB Promotions and GTD Promotions. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. Make sure to order the pay-per-view right now and don't wait until the last minute. Ashley, can you have him turn on my mic? Can you have him turn on my mic because he's getting ready to get done? Can you have him turn on my mic? As he will take on Rashidi Ellis this upcoming Saturday night. It is an IBF welterweight title eliminator matchup. So that is what is to come at 147. Also, speaking of the welterweight division, we got an exciting matchup. This one is for the vacant interim IBF welterweight championship. On one half, you have Philadelphia, Pennsylvania's very own Jaron Ennis, who's undefeated, a knockout percentage. Also, like Royman Villa of over 90%. Ennis has been storming through any opponent that's been in his way. But can he do that on Saturday night? Why? Because his opponent possesses a record of 21 wins opposite 1 defeat, with 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Just 26 years of age, from Kiev, Ukraine, who is now residing in Germany, currently ranked number 4 at 147 in the IBF rankings, having earned 2 stoppage victories last year in 2022. Certainly an underdog, but looking to play spoiler on Saturday and capture that IBF interim welterweight championship. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring here in Washington, D.C., Karen Chukadzian. Karen Chukadzian, just 26 years of age. No doubt very determined, but looking forward to this massive opportunity against Jaron Ennis on Saturday night on Showtime Pay-Per-View, all presented by Premier Boxing Champions. Great to see you, sir. Quickly, I know that you are limited when it comes to your English, but what does this opportunity mean to you?
It's a big opportunity for me. It's a big opportunity for me, and I will do my best to bring this title to Ukraine.
What does this fighting for your home country mean to you? It was well documented. We saw a lot of the videos and the sights and sounds of what's happening out in Ukraine, but what does this mean for you and your country?
For me, it's a big honor to represent my country in such a great event and against such a great opponent. And also I want to say thanks to all American people and American government for all those help and support that you give for Ukraine. Thank you very much.
And on Saturday night, what is your prediction, sir?
I will do my best. Ennis is a very great boxer, but I'm ready for him. So I do my best to win this fight.
Good luck to you. Karen Chukadzian, ladies and gentlemen, is going to work out for all of you. Very good English, by the way. Karen Chukadzian doing a stellar job when it comes to his English. That's not easy, being able to pick up on a second or third language that fast. Chukadzian going to work out for all of you. His opponent on Saturday night, Jaron Ennis of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But Karen Chukadzian working out for all of you. 21 wins, 1 loss, 11 wins coming by way of knockout, ranked number 4 in the world in the IBF rankings. His showdown against Jaron Ennis for the IBF interim welterweight championship. Be cognizant of your exit. That'll be a part of the co-main event of Gervonta Davis, Hector Garcia, champion versus champion, matching up on Saturday night from the Capital One Arena here in Washington, D.C. We give a round of applause to Jaron Ennis from the Ukraine, fighting for his home country that unfortunately is embroiled in some turmoil. But Jaron Ennis, with 2 wins last year by stoppage, number 4 in the world, looking to capture championship gold against Jaron Ennis. We will allow him to depart the ring, and then we will get ready for our next fighter as we continue with the media workouts here in Washington, D.C., as we look forward to a terrific night of boxing. And speaking of that terrific night of boxing, we have a sensational matchup in the super middleweight division. You heard from Laurel, Maryland's very own Damon Nicholson, but now you want to bring up to the ring a man who is a 2-division world champion, a 2008 United States Olympian, certainly very much looking to make an impression here in this, his 3rd division, as he comes into enemy territory. But it is an East Coast battle. He has won and comes to us from Providence, Rhode Island, having won titles at 154 and 160. Incidentally, made 5 successful title defenses in the middleweight division and is looking to capture and become a 3-division world champion. But his journey towards that 3rd division world championship will start off on Saturday night, as he will come in here to the opponent's backyard of Damon Nicholson. I'm talking about Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, who is no doubt making his PBC debut. And Demetrius Andrade, obviously a very talented fighter, extremely skillful, hasn't tasted defeat as a pro, undefeated as a professional. He's been calling out the big names in the division, whether it be at 160 or at 168, and now fighting here at 168 pounds in the super middleweight division. A litany of top quality fighters for him to collide against. He will have his hands full, though, against Damon Nicholson on Saturday. Also, we come your way 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time from Capital One Arena. Showtime pay-per-view, very easy to buy. Make sure to order it on your local cable or satellite provider, or go to Showtime.com and find out how you can be a part of this fantastic night of action. Very easy to do. You can do it in the palm of your hand. Also, we are giving you 3 fights for free on the Showtime Boxing Facebook page, starting at 6:45, 3:45 Pacific time, as we have the likes of Vito Melnicki Jr. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you have Trayvon Marshall as well. And we got Brandon Lee, who's really been making some noise. And that one should be a very exciting matchup. 3 young studs that'll be competing in separate bouts on the Showtime Boxing Facebook page, 6:45 Eastern, 3:45 Pacific time, giving you 3 fights for free before we go live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. This 4-fight card is absolutely loaded, and you will get your fair share of excitement and entertainment. A matchup at 168 with Demetrius Andrade and Damon Nicholson. 2 fights in the welterweight division. with the likes of Rashidi Ellis taking on Royman Villa, that being an IBF title eliminator. And then for the vacant IBF interim welterweight championship, you have Jaron Ennis taking on Karen Chukadze. What a matchup that is going to be. And incidentally, that one's being brought to you by in association with DND Boxing. But we are waiting to talk with Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, who will be stepping inside the ring at Capital One Arena, making his PBC debut against Damon Nicholson. Demetrius Andrade, he has been claiming that he wants to fight the likes of Canelo, even possibly Jermall Charlo, or whoever is one of the top dogs in the super middleweight division. You know that Boo Boo has its sights set on the upper echelon at 168, but he's taken on a guy in Damon Nicholson who has won 3 straight, who really has a lot of confidence in himself. I talked with one of his trainers, said that Damon is totally healthy, that he loves the fact that he's fighting here in his home area. He's from nearby Laurel, Maryland, 35 to 40 minutes away. So essentially, this is a home game for Damon Nicholson. But Demetrius Andrade has gone to enemy territory before and been successful in the process. And now we want to bring up, ladies and gentlemen, the 2-division world champion from Providence, Rhode Island. 31 wins, no losses, 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Got Boo Boo in the house. Great to see Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius, welcome, making your PBC debut on Saturday night. You have been around the world. You fought top-level guys, 2-division world champion. At this stage of your career, how are you feeling and the excitement that you have making your PBC debut against Damon Nicholson?
Nah, it feels good to be here, you know. Showtime PPV, especially on a great card like this with the talented fighters that's the future of boxing, and just ready to rumble and set the stage and set the platform for the guys.
Taking on Damon Nicholson, what are your thoughts of your opponent? You're fighting pretty much here in his home area. He's from Laurel, Maryland, 35 to 40 minutes away from here. You know, do you take and pay any attention to that?
Nah, man. I've been all over the world, man. Like you just said, man. Traveled for everybody, went to hometowns, man. This is my world when it comes into the square circle, so it's all good.
What kind of statement are you looking to make here? You're a 2-division world champion, won a world title at 154, made 5 successful title defenses at 160, but now here at 168. What are you looking to demonstrate on Saturday?
A beat down. You know what I'm saying? I'm going in there, put my skills and have a fun in there and perform and let people know, like, yo, it's me again. I'm here, and that's it. And look for the bigger fights, and also, you know, they know who I'm looking for.
When you're talking about those bigger fights, those bigger names, who are some guys, if you could get one guy to fight you in your next fight, sign on the dotted line, who would that be?
You know, the Twin Cub.
Twin Cup, I mean, can you be more specific?
You know, Twin Cup, Charlo.
So you want Charlo?
Yeah, for sure, Charlo. That's what I'm here for, Charlo.
Jermall Charlo.
Yeah, Charlo. With an S, both of them. Whichever.
You want both of them?
Whichever one of them.
It doesn't matter which one?
Whichever one of them.
So that's your focus right now, the Charlo brothers?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. We got a long history, we got rivalry, and I think it's only right that we get in the ring next.
So in terms of your performance on Saturday against Damon Nicholson, is it more advantageous? Are you going to really be pressing the action to try to go for that finish to make that definitive statement as you so claim?
Saturday, January 7th, you better tune in and watch.
Well, I'll be there ringside calling it, so I can't wait.
So yeah, we're gonna see then what I'm gonna bring to the table.
Also here, I know that you are a fan favorite in Providence, Rhode Island. You're fighting here in his backyard, but I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fans coming, making the drive here to Washington, D.C., correct?
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm worldwide, Mr. International. Of course they're going to come see me fight, man.
Boo Boo, always a pleasure. Welcome to PBC, and we'll allow you to work out for the media here in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, ladies and gentlemen, saying he is focused on the Charlo brothers. If he gets past Damon Nicholson tonight, on Saturday night, I beg your pardon. All right, a round of applause for Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, who is the two-division world champion. His assignment on Saturday night will be Damon Nicholson on Showtime pay-per-view, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time from the Capital One Arena here in Washington, D.C. It's all being presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by TGB Promotions and GTD Promotions. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to bring up one half of our main event of the evening. What's so compelling about Saturday night is that it is champion versus champion, two undefeated fighters. This man, 16 wins, no losses, 10 wins coming by way of knockout. A 2016 Olympian, as he represented his native country of the Dominican Republic, had the upset of the year as he defeated Chris Colbert last February in Las Vegas. He will follow it up with a dominating performance over Roger Gutierrez to capture his world title back on August 20th. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, trained by arguably one of the best trainers in boxing. He was the trainer of the year according to Sports Illustrated, and the illustrious Bob Santos. Ladies and gentlemen, here is from the Dominican Republic, taking on Gervonta Tank Davis. Here is Hector Luis Garcia. We have Martin Botter as well. Great to see Hector Luis Garcia here. Hector, if we can go ahead and look over at the camera. But Hector, as we are literally 3 days away until your main event showdown against Gervonta Davis, how excited are you for this opportunity?
Estamos en la víspera ya de tu pelea contra Gervonta Davis. Faltan 3 días. ¿Qué tan entusiasmado estás de cara a este desafío?
Bueno, primero, gracias a todos, al público, a la fanaticada, Showtime Boxing, PPV. Me siento emocionado estar en un evento tan importante como este.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the fans, Showtime, PBC, everyone involved with such a great event. I could not be more excited, and I'm going to give the fans a great show on Saturday night.
Last year, in your fight against Chris Colbert, you were a massive underdog in that matchup. Now you're an underdog coming into this. Do you like having that role of being the underdog? Do you thrive under what the odds makers, how they pick against you?
Bueno, cuando peleaste contra Colbert no eras el favorito ni cerca. Ahora estás por pelear contra Davis y no sos el favorito ni cerca. ¿Eso te motiva? ¿Es algo que te da una energía adicional y te hace querer ganar todavía más?
Sí, claro, eso me da una energía más positiva, porque realmente me siento bien así, me siento cómodo. Es algo que me motiva más y me inspira más a ganar mi pelea.
I already have a positive energy, and being the underdog, it just makes that exponentially better. I am so motivated and ready to show what an underdog can do on Saturday night.
How have you been preparing for someone that has the dynamic punching power like Gervonta Davis in sparring and during training camp?
Bueno, Gervonta es dinámico. ¿Cómo te preparas para enfrentar a alguien así de escurridizo, de impredecible, como lo es él, que además es de alto calibre, ¿no?
Sí, me preparo física y mentalmente para ese tipo de rival, porque sé que Gervonta es un gran peleador y él tiene buena expectativa de boxeo y eso también me motiva mucho a hacer buen trabajo.
Gervonta is a great fighter, and that also motivates me to do the best job I can, because to face someone like him, you gotta be both physically and mentally ready, because he's gonna bring the best that he has, and you have to bring the best that you have as well.
What are your thoughts on fighting here in his home area? There are going to be a lot of fans supporting him. You will no doubt be public enemy number 1 on Saturday night.
Vas a ser el enemigo público número 1 el sábado por la noche, ya que Gervonta es local, vos sos visitante. ¿Qué te genera eso? ¿Te da presión o te genera más entusiasmo todavía?
Bueno, voy a sentir el mismo apoyo de su fanaticada, de su fanaticada, de su estado, al igual forma que él, porque ya conozco esa área y me adapto a ese sistema.
Look, I'm going to adapt to whatever is needed, but I also have support in this state, in this city, and I know that fans are going to come out and support me as well. Well, I know that Gervonta is the local fighter too.
Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view here in Washington, D.C. Hector Garcia, how's it going down as you collide against Gervonta Davis?
Bueno, danos tu vaticinio, tu sensación de cómo va a terminar la pelea del sábado por la noche. ¿Cuál es tu predicción?
Yo me preparo para pelear los dos cerrados, pero en el boxeo no hay nada de Cristo. Aquí todo es posible y cualquier cosa puede pasar antes de. Pero me preparo física y mentalmente para pelear mis dos cerrados.
I'm going to be ready to fight 12 rounds. Nothing is written in boxing. Anything can happen, but I'm going to give my blood, sweat, and tears until the very last minute of the very last round. I can guarantee you that.
De que sí, le aseguro que va a ser una pelea muy emocionante.
And I guarantee you it's going to be a very exciting fight. You're not going to want to miss it.
No, you do not. Ladies and gentlemen, Hector Garcia, the undefeated champion, as he takes on Gervonta Davis. We'll allow Hector to work out for all of you here in Washington, D.C.
Ryan, can you help me with this, please?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Hector Garcia working out for all of you as he will take on Gervonta Davis in our main event on Saturday night from the Capital One Arena here in Washington, D.C. We continue with our media workout. Don't forget, if you want to join us on pay-per-view, all you have to do is call your local cable or satellite provider, or you can order it online in the palm of your hand. join us for this fantastic night of boxing as we kick off 2023. A part of that sensational night, you've always heard about this in the sport of boxing, that the welterweight division is one of the glamour divisions in boxing. And lo and behold, it continues to be that. We have an IBF welterweight title eliminator matchup. You heard from Royman Villa, the power puncher from Venezuela, but this man from Lynn, Massachusetts will be his opponent. He is unbeaten, having most recently blasted out Jose Marufo in July in the first round, owns impressive W's over the likes of Alexis Rocha and Eddie Gomez. He's perfect, 24 bouts, 24 victories, 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the unbeaten Rashidi Ellis. Great to see Rashidi Ellis inside the ring. He will take on Royman Villa. Rashidi, great to see you. Let's talk about the task at hand on Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view. Royman Villa, a hard-hitting Venezuelan power puncher. What are your thoughts on your opponent on Saturday night?
First, I got to thank God, thank Al Heyman, thank the PBC family, and thank Showtime. But he's a tough fighter. You know, he got a good percentage knockout ratio, but that don't mean nothing to me.
Where do you feel like you have the advantages over your opponent? Not giving away your game plan, obviously, but where do you think where you're going to be successful on Saturday against Villa?
I'm not going to give away my game plan, but my speed, my everything, my boxing ability, IQ, everything.
What is it like to be on a stage of this magnitude? Because not only are you fighting on pay-per-view, but this is a title eliminator, which is something that it's getting you closer to your potential lifelong goal, capturing a world title.
Yeah, it means a lot, especially I was out the scene for a little bit, so this get to show that, you know, I'm the top dog, I'm 147.
How good did that win feel back in July when you went ahead and wiped out Jose Marufo in the first round? Obviously, you don't get paid by the hour. You don't even get paid by the round because you made it that fast.
Yeah, I had to do what I had to do, but it felt good being back in the ring, back in the groove.
What are you hoping to show the rest of the world on Saturday night when you take on Royman Villa?
Show that I'm the man. Show I'm just going to, make a statement.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Lynn, Massachusetts' very own Rashidi Ellis. Got Rashidi Ellis working out for all of you here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Also, don't forget, we will have the press conference tomorrow and the weigh-in on Friday. All of those will be televised here on our social media pages. Tune in and be a part of the press conference along with the weigh-in. And we inch closer to fight night on Saturday night. Prelims coming your way on our social media pages at 6:45 Eastern, 3:45 Pacific, then pay-per-view 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time, and also the post-fight press conference to follow the conclusion of our pay-per-view. Rashidi Ellis working out ahead of his matchup against Royman Villa.
With boots? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Glad to hear, Sam. my bad. Sorry. Oops.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Rashidi Ellis working out as he will take on Royman Villa. That'll be an IBF welterweight title eliminator, so some significant repercussions regarding the welterweight division in that particular contest. Our co-main event is going to be a unique matchup because we have one of the fastest rising stars in boxing who is really been on a tear. 29 wins, no losses, 27 wins coming by way of knockout. Crazy to think that we've known about him for such a long time, years upon years. He has won his last 20 fights, 19 of those he's won by knockout or TKO, meaning he's putting people to sleep. And he did that back on May 14th on the undercard of Jermell Charlo's victory over Brian Castaño in their rematch at the War Grounds in Carson, California, where he wiped out Castillo Clayton. Also, he holds the distinction of being the only man to stop Sergey Lipinets from their matchup in April of 2021. That was his first headlining appearance. He has really continued to blossom, and if there was a young fighter, or there are several young fighters that I would want to buy stock into, this young man would certainly be in that category. He's got flash inside the ring and outside the ring. a unique appearance when it comes to his ring attire. He always seems to bring forth entertainment similar to that of our main event lightweight champion of the world, Gervonta Davis, sort of following in terms of that same showmanship. He's so fast, he's durable. He put away Tomas Delorme in the first round. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to bring into the ring from the city of brotherly love on Saturday night. He will be taking on the Ukrainian's own Karen Chukadzian, who is ranked number 4 in the world, ladies and gentlemen, with a 29-win record, no losses, 27 wins coming by way of knockout from the fighting city of Philadelphia, PA. Here is Jaron Boots Ennis. All right, it's great to see Jaron Boots Ennis here. Boots, great to see you. Let's talk about this matchup for you. This is for the interim IBF welterweight championship. You can finally get some sort of championship gold around your waist. What does this mean to you?
This means everything. You know, I'm just ready to rock and roll, ready to shine. You know, put on a beautiful show for DC. You know, I'm gonna have the whole Philly, you know, in the building, so I can't wait to shine and put on a beautiful show and get this knockout.
Does it almost feel like a home game for you?
It definitely feel like I'm at home. You know, this only like a 2-hour ride from Philly, so it feel like I'm at home. So, you know, it's another day in the office, time to shine, trying to put on a beautiful show.
What do you know about your opponent? He's ranked number 4 in the world according to the IBF rankings, Karen Chukadzian from the Ukraine.
That's all I know, that he ranked number 4, and that's about it. I let my team do the homework, you know, and I just, you know, execute the game plan. That's it.
Well, you have done that very much so, because guys don't last too long with you. Your last 20 fights, 19 of those you've wiped out. You were the first guy to stop Sergey Lipinets. You blew through Castillo Clayton, Tomas Delorme over the past year and a half. What is the key to the power of Boots Ennis?
Just me being me. You know, I got naturally gifted power, you know, and speed and timing, so everything just gifted, you know, thank God.
So playing matchmaker, as I sometimes like to do, if you get this victory over Chukadzian, you would capture the interim IBF welterweight championship. The IBF regular champion happens to be Errol Spence Jr. Is that a fight that you're clamoring for here in 2023?
Most definitely. That's the fight that we want next. You know, after I do my thing on Saturday night, you know, that's what we want next.
So that is the guy that you want. If you could have any opponent in the world, Errol Spence is the guy who you love to side on the dotted line and fight next.
Most definitely. If it ain't him, anybody else that got a belt, and that's Bud. So them two.
At 25 years of age, do you feel like you're finally hitting your stride physically? And I feel like you were born to be a prize fighter in this particular limelight.
I feel like everything falling into place now, and I feel like everything going how it's supposed to be going. You know, all I gotta do is keep doing me, having fun, and getting these knockouts, keep putting on, you know, for Showtime and the fans, and, you know, keep making my name get bigger.
Saturday night against Chukadzian on the co-main event of Gervonta Davis, Hector Garcia on Showtime pay-per-view. What's your prediction?
My prediction is me having fun, you know, not looking for the knockout, but the knockout gonna come. Just set him up.
Also, I mentioned before you got in the ring about your ring attire and your ring entrances. What kind of ring attire do you have? You want to give us a little preview of what we can expect on Saturday night?
Just stay tuned. That's all I'm gonna say. Stay tuned. I got some heat.
All right, Jaron Boots Ennis going to work out for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. The undefeated Jaron Boots Ennis from Philadelphia, PA.
What's up, Boots?
Again, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Jaron Ennis as he's working out here in Washington, D.C. He's in the co-main event on Saturday night. His opponent, Jaron Ennis. That'll be the co-main event of Gervonta Davis, Hector Garcia. Jaron Ennis from Philadelphia fighting for the IBF Interim Welterweight Championship of the world, looking to become a world champion at just 25 years of age, as he will take on the Ukrainian Enchukadzian. Ennis has won 19 of his last 20 by way of knockout. You hear the power in his punches, and no doubt he is looking to put on another show on Saturday night, the co-main event of Gervonta Davis, Hector Garcia on Showtime pay-per-view from the Capital One Arena here in Washington, D.C. Gervonta Davis on the way in a few short moments. much, Jaron Ennis. The co-main event as he will take on Jaron Ennis on Saturday night for the IBF Interim Welterweight Championship. That is a vacant title. Jaron Ennis from Philadelphia, PA, looking to put championship gold around his waist. Saturday night, though, we have a tremendous night of boxing coming your way as Premier Boxing Champions on Showtime kicks off a very busy year here in 2023. Very much looking forward to what we have on tap to begin the year. In our main event on Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view, you have a matchup between two world champions, Gervonta Tank Davis from nearby Baltimore, Maryland. He will put his undefeated record in his lightweight championship on the line against the super featherweight champion of the world, the undefeated from the Dominican Republic, Hector Luis Garcia. That our main event on Showtime pay-per-view, presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by TGB Promotions and GTD Promotions. But, ladies and gentlemen, it will no doubt be a rocking crowd at the Capital One Arena as Gervonta Davis, at 28 years of age, is one of the true superstars in boxing. He is a 3-division, 5-time world champion. He sold out arenas in Los Angeles. He sold out arenas in Brooklyn, set the attendance record at Barclays Center, the gate record at Barclays Center. Atlanta, he sold out. In Baltimore, he sold out. Key word being, key phrase being, he sells out the buildings. And no doubt, the Capital One Arena will be full of an electric crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to bring to the ring. He currently defeated Rolando Rolly Romero by highlight reel knockout in the 6th round. He's defeated the likes of Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, Yuriokis Gamboa. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Baltimore, Maryland. As we go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and we continue to await the entrance of our main event, as we are very much looking forward. Okay, so we are very much, let me break down the card as we go ahead and await the entrance of this dynamic power puncher. One thing about this young man is that he is all exciting all the time. I've never seen him in a boring fight in my life. You got to go back to when he fought at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, and he looked tremendous by knocking out Hugo Ruiz. Not many guys can withstand the kind of power punching that he demonstrates and throws at you. Even fought at 140 last June when he wiped out Mario Barrios. But one thing about this young man is that anytime he steps inside the ring, he is must-see TV. But our co-main event, Jaron Ennis, Jaron Ennis, going to be excited at 147. I talked about Rashidi Ellis taking on Royman Villa, that being a welterweight title eliminator. Also, the PBC debut of Demetrius Boo Boo Andre. He will take on Damon Nicholson from nearby Laurel, Maryland, on our Facebook stream, on Showtime Boxing's Facebook stream at 6:45 Eastern, 3:45 Pacific time. We have a triple header on tap. Vito Melnicki Jr., with just one loss to his credit, from Roseland, New Jersey, will take on Omar Rosales. Also, the undefeated Brandon Lee will be in the co-main event of that Facebook stream. He'll take on Diego Luque. Trayvon Marshall matches up against Sean West in the super welterweight division. A triple header at 6:45 Eastern, 3:45 Pacific time, before we even get to the pay-per-view at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. We are beginning 2023 with the bang when it comes to Premier Boxing Champions. And to think, we're barely in the first week of the new year, but no doubt Gervonta Davis and Hector Garcia are looking to make very big impressions in this champion versus champion matchup. Very rare that you have a matchup like that. The fact is that Hector Garcia, coming into the home area of Gervonta Davis, looking to capture another world title and looking to continue to further his legacy as being one of the most popular sports stars in the Dominican Republic. And also, you take a look at the trainers in this particular matchup. The trainer of Hector Garcia, Bob Santos, was named the Sports Illustrated Trainer of the Year in 2022. He will take on, in the corner of Gervonta Davis, Calvin Ford. Calvin Ford has been embedded in the boxing here of the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area for quite some time, for years upon years. He's been with Gervonta Davis since the very beginning. Together, they have made for a tremendous partnership. And the question is, can Hector Garcia withstand the power of one Gervonta Davis? Can Hector Garcia give Gervonta Davis some different looks, and can he frustrate him over the course of their main event matchup? That's all to come on Saturday night. We are looking forward to finding the answers to those problems, or to those questions, on Saturday night. And as we mentioned, you're really going to see a lot of talent on Saturday night. You know, what I'm excited about is we're beginning the pay-per-view. Demetrius Andrade, a two-division world champion at 154 and at 160, made 5 successful title defenses of his middleweight championship. He's taking on Damon Nicholson. Damon Nicholson's been in the ring against some top-quality guys, Edgar Berlanga being one of them, and he's rattled off 3 straight victories. Nicholson has told me that he's healthy, he's focused, and he believes that he has all the tools necessary in order to upset Demetrius Andrade. Andrade did say, assuming he gets past one Damon Nicholson, then he wants to take on the Charlo brothers. Now, the Charlo brothers, and I asked them, I'm like, well, Jamal or Jamel? He goes, either one of them, I have no problem fighting either guy. But Demetrius Andrade obviously is fighting now with Premier Boxing champions, and he said, without a doubt, my focus are the Charlo brothers. That's who I want next. Either it's Jamal or Jamel, doesn't matter. That's who I have in my crosshairs. Our next matchup on the pay-per-view, Rashidi Ellis, who made his PBC debut in July, an emphatic victory over Jose Marufo. He will now go head-to-head against the Venezuelan power puncher, Royman Villa. That is an IBF title eliminator matchup. So what that means is the winner of that particular fight will be guaranteed a title shot sometime down the line. Royman Villa can really crack with both hands, can knock you out with either his right or his left. Rashidi Ellis has had his fair share of managerial issues, now under the Premier Boxing Champions banner, holds wings over the likes of Alexis Rocha, Eddie Gomez as well, but seems now to be in the best place of his career from a business standpoint, fighting in Premier Boxing Champions on Showtime, as he will collide against Royman Villa. The winner of that fight guarantees themselves a title shot. Co-main event when it comes to up-and-coming sensations and fighters who have a lot of excitement behind them. You look at the 25-year-old in Jaron Boots Ennis, who's undefeated. 19 of his last 20 opponents have not seen the final bell. He's the first guy to stop Sergey Lipinets, the only guy to do so, and that's not an easy task whatsoever. The thing about Jaron Ennis that makes him so exciting is that he does things to opponents that really, it doesn't happen to them. When he wiped out Tomas Delorme looked to be like he was blitzed and had no idea what took place to him and how he got put on the canvas. When Jaron Ennis beat Sergey Lipinets in the fashion that he did, Lipinets had never been handled in that particular fashion. Castillo Clayton, his latest opponent, back on May 14th on the undercard of Jermell Charlo, Brian Castano, number 2, at the War Grounds in Carson. Nobody had ever done that to Castillo Clayton. Now enter Karen Chukadzian from the Ukraine. 26 years of age, 21 wins, 1 loss, 11 wins coming by way of knockout. The thing about Chukadzian is that he's fighting for something more than just himself. He's fighting for his home country of the Ukraine that are embroiled in quite a bit of turmoil out in that particular part of the world. So Chikadzian knows that this not only is significant for himself, but it's significant for all of his countrymen and those back home in the Ukraine. And you know that the Ukraine has churned out its fair share of high-level prize fighters, the Klitschko brothers, Vasily Lomachenko. You know, you can continue and go down the list. And Karen Chikadzian is looking, Alexander Usyk as well, to add to that list and become a champion himself. He's a significant underdog, but the way that I saw his demeanor, his focus, it's at an all-time high, and it doesn't bother him that the odds makers have Jaron Ennis as such a heavy favorite. Now, for Jaron Ennis, he worked out for all of you for about the past 10 or 15 minutes. You saw him. He looks in impeccable physical shape. Ennis is one of those fighters who thrives in the limelight. He was born to be a prize fighter. 25 years of age, looking for that massive opportunity, now fighting for an interim vacant IBF welterweight championship. If he can capture that gold, it gets him closer to his desired opponent, as he told me moments ago, in Errol Spence Jr. Incidentally, Errol Spence Jr. holds 3 world titles in the welterweight division. He's the WBC welterweight champion of the world. He's the WBA welterweight champion of the world. And he's the IBF welterweight champion of the world. So Spence holds 3 of the 4 titles. Terrence Crawford holding the other one. But Jaron Ennis will capture this interim IBF welterweight championship. And that could get us closer to that potential super fight against Errol Spence Jr. Again, Ennis has got to get past Karen Chikadzian coming up on Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view. It's all being presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by TGB Promotions and GTD Promotions. Also, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow will be the press conference. You do not want to miss it at 1 Eastern, the press conference for Gervonta Davis and Hector Garcia. You will hear from our main event fighters along with the pay-per-view card on Friday. Will be the weigh-in here from Washington, D.C. You can also see that on our social media pages. And then, as I mentioned, on Saturday, we get going at 6:45 Eastern, 3:45 Pacific time with a triple header featuring the likes of Vito Melnicki Jr., also Brandon Lee in action in our co-feature, Trayvon Marshall, to begin the opening portion of our stream. So 3 fights for free. You don't have to pay a dime for it. You can watch it anywhere in the world. And then we will get you ready for our pay-per-view card. What a 4-fight showdown that we have for all of you here in Washington, D.C. I heard ticket sales are off the charts, and you know what? It doesn't surprise me, because anywhere that Gervonta Davis goes, he sells out and really packs the place to capacity. Just to give you an idea, in the last fight at Barclays Center, the celebrities came out. We hadn't seen Madonna out in a fight in years upon years, and she came out to watch Tank. The one thing about Tank, not only inside the ring is he so fast, not only is he electric, not only does he have punching power, not only is he one of the fastest rising knockout sensations, but his ring entrances are something certainly to behold. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, he will be looking to defend his home area on Saturday night. He is the reigning and defending lightweight champion of the world, looking to make yet another successful title defense look mightily impressive by wiping out Rolando Rolly Romero back on Memorial Day weekend in May at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and looking to kick off his 2023 with the bang, as he will take on and put his lightweight championship on the line as he goes ahead and risks his world title against the super featherweight champion of the world, also undefeated, Hector Garcia. He is a 3-division world champion, a 5-time champion, having been successful when it comes to being a box office draw wherever he goes. Dignity Health Sports Park, packed the place. When we went to the Crypto.com Arena, formerly the Staples Center, had a tremendous crowd. Barclays Center set the attendance record. We went to State Farm Arena down in Atlanta. Amazing crowd, nearly a sellout, if not a sellout. In Baltimore, a sellout. And now here at Capital One Arena, the home of the Washington Wizards and Washington Capitals, Gervonta Davis will make that ring walk on a Saturday night as he will take on Hector Garcia. Gervonta Davis looking to kick off his 2023 campaign with the bang, and he has been doing that throughout the course of his career. A knockout percentage of over 92%. I mean, you have to be able, when you watch a Gervonta Davis fight, do not blink, because it could end at any one moment, and typically it does. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to bring to the ring from Baltimore, Maryland, very proud of where he's from in his home area. He'll be defending his lightweight championship of the world against Hector Luis Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from right here in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area, the undefeated world champion. Here is Gervonta Tank Davis. So Gervonta Davis taking a photo with the youth here at the Recreation Center here in Washington, D.C.
One of the kids, he blends in with those kids. Oh, yeah. I'm 5'7" and a half. He's not 5'7".
And now we want to bring into the ring the undefeated world champion from Baltimore, Maryland, representing his home area. Again, we welcome Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank, great to see you. Always a pleasure. Man, oh man, I've seen you enjoy fight weeks before, but I feel like you are happier than usual because you are here in your home area. I feel like you love fighting here in the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area. How much does this mean to you?
It means a lot. You know, I actually fought in this building before. I think is this what the Men's Cup was? I think the Men's Cup was here before.
Calvin, was this where the Men's Cup was?
The Men's Cup?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, facts.
So you fought in this building before?
I think so. I don't know for sure, but I think so. But
I saw you smiling, like almost saying like going back in time a little bit.
Yeah, I'm happy to be home and in front of a great crowd and things like that. So I'm excited, man. I know Hector Garcia going to come to fight, and we're going to give the people what they want to see.
So when the opponent came out, Hector Garcia, he had a terrific 2022. Defeated Chris Colbert. That was an upset, but he looked mightily impressive. Handled Roger Gutierrez as well. Why did you decide to settle on a fellow unbeaten fellow champion at 130?
Just he came. He did what he had to do. You know what I mean? He came and beat a top prospect, and then after that, he won a belt. So I feel as though he came up in weight. I think that giving him the shot was the perfect timing. You know what I mean? I feel as though he's a stepping stone to what I want to do, and he earned his stripes.
So assuming you handle business on Saturday night against Hector Garcia, you mentioned about stepping stone, about what you want to do. What does Gervonta Davis want to do moving forward? There's a guy who has been mentioning you for quite some time in Ryan Garcia. Is that what is possibly next for you, or do you not have any plan set in stone just yet?
Definitely Ryan, but our main focus is definitely Hector Garcia right now. I feel as though he's a threat to, you know what I mean, to what I want to do. So I just want to go out there and put on a great performance.
You have been selling out arenas everywhere you go, but why does fighting here in your home area, when you fought in Baltimore, the crowd was absolutely electric and just at a fever pitch, but what does making fighting here in the Washington, D.C. area so special for Tank?
Coming up in my whole career, in my whole amateur career, we had to, I had to fight in Baltimore, and then if I wanted to go to the Nationals, I had to fight. I had to come through D.C. You know what I mean? So I've been fighting in D.C. for all my amateur career. So this like a second home to me. So I'm definitely excited to, to come back to Washington, D.C. and put on a great performance.
What about the bond that you have with your head trainer, Calvin Ford? You guys have been together since the beginning, and talk about a winning combination between you two.
Just it's family, it's loyalty. I looked at my trainers as like they like dads. You know what I mean? They've been in my corner since I was 8 years old. So I feel as though this is just a part of our group. You know what I mean?
It's obvious that the fans love to watch you fight. You do extremely well wherever you go, but we're barely in the first week of January. So is there a possibility for you to maybe get 3 fights in this year, assuming you're healthy?
Hopefully I can get 3 fights in.
Is that what you're hoping for?
Yeah, I'm hoping for that for sure.
I feel like you love to fight. I know you're a student of the game. You're always watching boxing anytime we hear you in interviews.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching boxing majority of the time.
All right, your prediction for Saturday night, Tank?
Great performance. That's it. That's my prediction.
My final question to you, what's the ring walk going to be like? Because you always have a show when it comes to your ring entrances. What's the ring walk? Can you give me a little bit of a preview?
Gotta wait and see, man. Gotta wait and see.
All right, Gervonta Tank Davis, ladies and gentlemen, we'll allow him to work out and say hello to the fans here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Gervonta Tank Davis. Yes, Gervonta Davis going to work out for all of you in only moments. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to miss what is going to be a sensational night of boxing. Gervonta Davis, Hector Garcia, coming your way, Showtime pay-per-view. That starts at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time from Capital One Arena here in Washington, D.C. In a few short moments, you're going to see the lightweight champion of the world work out for all of you here in Washington, D.C. He's smiling from ear to ear, focused, determined, and in impeccable shape, ready to go for a showdown against Hector Garcia. We'll come back with Gervonta Davis's workout in a few short moments. Gervonta Davis workout here in Washington, D.C. ahead of his matchup against Hector Garcia. Gervonta Davis going to work out, ladies and gentlemen, for a few short moments ahead of his matchup against Hector Garcia on Showtime pay-per-view this Saturday night. Make sure to order the pay-per-view right now. You do not want to wait until the last minute. You can do so on your local cable or satellite provider, or do it in the palm of your hand on your smartphone for your smart TV as well. Gervonta Davis with his esteemed trainer, Calvin Ford, looking to begin his 2023 on a high note as he will match up against the super featherweight champion of the world, the fellow unbeaten combatant in Hector Luis Garcia, who had the upset of the year in 2022. Gervonta Davis fighting here in his home area will allow him to take the ring. He actually fought inside this building, according to what he told me, in the amateurs. And talk about a card full of exciting fighters. You got Jaron Ennis in our co-main event, taking on Karen Chukadzian. Also, Demetrius Boo Boo Andre, the two-division world champion, taking on Damon Nicholson from Laurel, Maryland. Great to see the local flavor on the card as well. You got Rashidi Ellis from Lynn, Massachusetts, going head-to-head against Royman Villa of Venezuela, the power puncher. Triple header will feature Vito Malnicki Jr., also Brandon Lee and Trayvon Marshall. Gervonta Davis working out here in Washington, D.C. Working out here in Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for the media workouts here in our nation's capital as we begin fight week for Gervonta Davis, Hector Luis Garcia. On social media, use the hashtag DavisGarcia. We look forward to talking with you tomorrow for the press conference on the Showtime social media pages. Friday, the weigh-in. Saturday, fight night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time on Showtime pay-per-view. For the lightweight championship of the world, it's Gervonta Davis defending his championship against a fellow unbeaten champion, Hector Luis Garcia. All brought to you by TGB Promotions and GTD Promotions, presented by Premier Boxing Champions. Fight week is upon us here in Washington, D.C. It's Tank against Hector Luis Garcia. We'll see you tomorrow for the press conference. Have a great one, everybody. Good night.
I'm a police officer for North Minneapolis and coach for the North High School. These kids don't trust cops.
It's definitely a difficult time right now.
Kind of weird, but I'm building bonds with police.
The violence is non-stop. You can hear the gunshots. When them lights flicker at 7 o'clock, you ain't hearing none of that.
Four straight sellouts, 3 division championships.
A lethal left uppercut!
The one and only Gervonta Tank Davis puts his perfect record on the line against one of the fastest rising boxers in the sport. Unbeaten Hector Luis Garcia, plus undefeated knockout artist Jaron Ennis. Tank Davis versus Hector Luis Garcia, Saturday, January 7th, live on pay-per-view.